You too. What's going on, man? It's your boy Xerxes coming back at you with another one. This is going to be the day 5 update, I believe, for the Frost Blades Warden. And man, we've made some serious improvements. So let's just jump in real quick to kind of some of the things that I've improved. I have a 6 link now. I got some new gloves. Got some new gear. So what I'm going to do actually in this POB is give you guys 2 POBs. So the one that I'm currently wearing is a completely elemental avoid gear set. So I'm completely immune to elemental ailments. In this one, I sacrifice about 4 million damage in order to get that. But with this league, it seems like there's a bunch of shit that will reflect elements back to you. And with how much we're scorching and freezing and chilling and shocking, it's like, it's just it's just way more comfy to have elemental ailment avoid, in my opinion. But I will include a POB that has this gear right here as well. This gear is like 15 or 16 million DPS, and this gear is like 10 or 11, something like that. But for me, like I said, the comfiness of having elemental ailment avoid it's just too good to pass up. So I just wanted to preface it with there will be 2 POBs down in the description below. But for the video showcase that I'm going to use today, it's going to be the Ellie avoid gear. Okay, so as you can see here, we have all 6 of our map slots. So we've done Maven and we have done a T17, completed both of those, no problem. I ran a Fortress, I'm looking for a yoke, and it's also probably the easiest one, but I ran that deathless, literally no problems. Granted, it was a pretty easy T17 map, but still, T17 deathless, there's no way that this build would have been able to, or like Frostblades would have been able to do this last league at this point in the league. So what else to talk about? Got Maven down, got a T17 down. I'm working on getting my frags to do an Uber Elder right now. We have done 113 of 115 maps, just need a couple more. So yeah, that's a pretty good update as far as where we're at. What I'm going to do for the showcase today is a T16 City Square, and I'm going to juice it pretty heavy with Eater Altars, Legion, Deli Mirror, and then we're going to put the Eater Worlds on here too. So these maps get pretty crazy, but it should be a pretty good indicator of how good this build is at clearing like juiced maps. It's absolutely insane. It just blows everything up. Now, the one thing that I will say about this build is that the numbers can be kind of deceiving, right? Because like the DPS of this build when everything is up is like very high. It's like 16, 17 mil, something like that. But when it's down, when everything's down, so like when your Unbound Avatar is not up or your Vol Lightning Strike is not up, or your prismatic teacher's on cooldown, if all of that doesn't line up, your damage gets cut like in half. So it is very bursty, and you have to learn when to use those damage windows on bosses and stuff. And I'm still getting used to doing that, but I just want everyone to know that that is kind of something that you have to be like cognizant of, because if you don't cycle through your skills properly, you can feel like you're doing no damage when it's just that you're not using your skills when you should be using them. So let's get in here, pop this Deli Mirror, and then just go ham on this map. This is probably like the best map clear build that I think I've ever played. It's so fast, everything blows up, it's just insane. So pop the Vol Lightning Strike, and then just like everything that gets close is just dead. It's just crazy. It is crazy. So yeah, if you guys are playing this build, I would like absolutely suggest that you run Elemental Ailment Avoidance on here. It feels so good. Is this one of those fucking... Okay, God, I hate these shrines so much. Pardon my French there, but those things suck. Anyway, what was I saying? Ellie Avoid. Get Elemental Ailment Avoidance on your gear. It feels super good. I'm going to go over how I did that too at the end of the map. So we'll go over all the changes and stuff so you guys can see exactly how I got to where I am right now. So pretty much what you're doing when you're mapping is just you're whirling bladesing around. You right click every once in a while just to blow up like anything that's on the screen. If it doesn't die immediately, you can Vol Lightning Strike. And then if that doesn't die, then you can pop your Avatar. And if that doesn't die, you can pop your your tincture, right? So it's like, that's kind of the way that I do it, is I go around, and if anything lasts for more than like a second or two, I'll pop Vol Lightning Strike, and then if that's still alive, then I'll pop my Unbound Avatar, and then if it's still alive, then I pop my tincture. And so that's kind of like the way that I would normally go about doing it. So It looks like we didn't get a deli mirror, or not a deli mirror, but a legion in here for some reason. But we'll kill the. That's the boss dead. I thought that we had a 100% chance to get a legion, which is kind of wild, unless I missed it somewhere. Oh, nope, it's down here. So this can show you like how good this thing is at clearing legions. This was like a terrible spot for it to be. There's not really a whole lot going on, but anyway, we actually cleared the whole thing that time just because it was in a shitty spot. Yeah, you can see like these legion monsters. It's like a piece of cake. It's like a joke. So hopefully, if you weren't a believer, you are now. I've had a lot of people say like, man, this build sucks. It's like a piece of paper. Like, this is a T16 juice map, like Deli and Legion, and like not a problem in the slightest. So hopefully that's a good enough showcase for you, and then we'll see what we get from this this thing. I didn't really like juice the delirium at all on my tree, just other than like chance. So let's go back to town, and I will go over the changes. So what did I do to get elemental ailment avoid? That's like the most important thing, right? I did end up getting a 6 link. I'm still working on trying to get the crit multi for attack damage as the implicit there with the Eater Ember, but I did hit Fortify, so I figured that's good enough. We'll get the damage later. So there's a couple of ways you can do this, right? But the main way is that you have to think, first of all, we're going to take this this thick skin mastery here, or this thick skin wheel here, and this will give us 4, 8, 12, and then 20% chance to avoid right there. So start with 20, and then we're going to get some on the boots. So on the boots here we have 22, so that puts us at 42, and then we rolled the implicit, which is 23. So what is that? 42, 23, 65. Then we have 30 on the shield. That's 95, and so this is a bit overkill, but I just wanted to make sure that I had 100% no matter what, so ended up getting it there. One thing you can do is get a higher roll on the boots with your essence. I just ran out of essences because I'm solo self-found, so what you can do is get a higher roll there, and then you can forego one of these rolls somewhere too, like probably forego the implicit on the boots. I think you'd be able to do that if you got a higher roll somewhere, so maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. I don't know. You'd have to look at the math, but there is a way to do it, I think. Anyway, that's how we got the elemental ailment avoidance, right? So I think I found this the 6 link through Geomancer's incubators in like Delirium, or in Legion, excuse me. So I got this, and then I just rolled it with some, I think it was with like defense essences or something like that, the evasion essences. And then this I got from the black market, and this you have to use an essence on, right? So that's how I crafted these pieces of gear. This is still like the same. I think I might have been using a blizzard crown before. I found this one. I needed some suppress, rolled some mods on there, so this is what I'm using now. It gives +1 level of gems to these AoE gems in here too. And then is there anything else that I changed? I believe I had to change these 2 pieces of gear as well because of resistances and stuff when I ended up going to LE Avoid. So I had to change this ring, and I believe I had to change this amulet too. But the fucking claw is still the same. It's not a good claw, but I can't get a better one for the life of me. I'm trying to get a pure fizz and cold claw, and just like every time that I roll like a cold essence, it just hits absolute trash tier other mods. So pretty unlucky there. I wish I was in trade league so I could just like buy some essences and get lucky, but you know, I'm at the mercy of being in a solo self-found league, so it is what it is. I did craft these as well, so these are new. I hit these with attack speed essences, and it ended up hitting life, res, cold damage to attacks, and this actually has an open suffix on it as well. So whenever I get an exalt, I will probably just be exalt slamming this and see if I can get lucky and hit like cold res or another res, because these are actually really good gloves, and these will probably last me a long time. So those would be worthy of exalting for sure. Maybe, I think accuracy would be really good too. Ideally, eventually, I think we want accuracy, but um, we'll see what happens if I can get my hands on Exalt. And then I got I think I might have got a new Stygian Vise too, and with just like a kind of basic flat damage in there. So I made all of my flasks automate, so they're used when charges reach full. And then ideally I would like this one to have gain a charge when you crit. I believe I have that on this one, and I would like to have that on this one too. So it just makes it to where, you know, because we're going to constantly be critting all the time in this build. So if you can get gain charge on crit and then use when charges reach full, you don't ever really need to hit these buttons. The only one that you need to hit is this one. Remember, guys, that you can get quality on your tincture, and it does make a pretty big difference, right? Because the normal roll on here would be 22, and so this goes up to 26% with quality for the attack speed, and the LE damage in the implicit goes up as well. So it's very good to get quality on these. Good. Okay. I think that covers everything. Like I said, this other gear that I was wearing for more DPS, if you guys want to forego elemental ailment avoidance, I would not recommend it. But if you want to, or if you're in like a SSF and just can't get there yet, like me, I'll include the POB for this, and then I'll also include this POB too in the description below, so you guys can have two different ones to look at. Like I said, the damage is a little bit different, but for me, I think it's worth it to go a little bit safer route, especially when you're level 95 and I'm trying to level up to, you know, 96, 97. So anything I can do to help me get there, I'm going to do. So I think I covered everything that I wanted. Oh, you know what? I didn't. So let's do this. I've gotten a few people that have asked me about this armor set, right? And so what I'll do is show, this is the Tormentor helmet with the Eldritch Hunger body armor, Eldritch Hunger gloves, Eldritch Hunger boots, the Tormented back attachment. It's a Silver Crescent weapon. I don't think that really matters too much. And then this is the Cold Snap shield. And what I did was I put the gold character effect on here. So that's how I got my character to look kind of like gold and red like that. I think it looks pretty sick. I've had some people ask. And then as well, if you're wondering about the explosions from Herald of Ice, that is called Automaton. A lot of people ask about that. So I think that one looks pretty sick. So I pretty much run that in most of the builds that I play with Frost Blades. We will go over the passive tree. I don't think too much has changed here. I don't know if I was speccing into this blind stuff before, but I ended up going with this blind. Just it gives me like an extra 5% chance to evade, which is really good. And I think that's really the only stuff that has changed there. I spec'd 1 point up here for increased damage against enemies on low life. It's just more damage when you're fighting like a big boss that has like a long phase or whatever. That's pretty much that. And then real quick, I will go over my Atlas trees if you guys are interested. This is pretty much how I run like all of my Atlas trees whenever I start a new solo self-found league. So the first one that I'll do is a little bit different than what it is now, because typically what I'll do is I'll start and I'll go up here, I'll rush through this, and I'll rush through this, and then I go straight up to this Unwavering Vision, and then I go down and get all these map nodes. So that's what I do most of the time. And then once I get my second and third tree, once I get some unmaking orbs, I'll come back and I'll spec this tree for essences, for like a little bit of map sustain, for Exarch, and then for harvest. So this is what I use for harvest, Exarch, essence, and map sustain. This next one is going to be an Eater influenced like strat with Legion and Delirium Orbs, because I do need to get myself eye level 84 12 passive cold cluster jewel. So that's what this is trying to achieve. And then the last one that I always run is destructive play, right? So I can get myself the all the Guardian and Shaper maps, so I can run Uber Elder and get my last Void Stone. So this is the tree that I run for that, with some essence on it too, just because essences are what I need the most right now, probably to craft my claw. So in case you're wondering, you can pause the video on those and show them. They're probably not ideal. I just threw them together randomly. So like if there's a mistake in there, don't, yell at me in the comments, but that's what I'm running right now. So this video dragged out a little bit longer than I had planned, but I hope it helps you. Like I said, LA Avoid is huge, and I've been having a blast blasting these T16 maps and looking forward to taking down the Uber Elder. So with that, I'm gonna leave the build there, or the video there. Drop a like, drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.